Hi, it's Alaska Granny. I wanted to share with you some prepping that I did this week and see if some of the items that I decided to stockpile are things that you want to get too. I'm concerned with inflation, rising prices, and unaffordability is a problem for so many people. So we want to try to figure out what we really need, try to find it at a good price, and then stock up when you find it at a price that you can afford. I like to also think about different categories of prepping, things of food and supplies, plus I want to make sure that I have things for my dog Teddy. When you're looking at the area of food, you want to have food on hand that you could just open and eat that doesn't require any cooking, things that require a little bit of cooking, and then the foods that can last the longest. You want to have a variety of those foods in your stockpile so that you can have something to eat if the power goes out, if you're in a hurry. You can make a few meals right out of your pantry out of foods that last several years and are easy to combine, and then you still have the longest lasting foods. Yes, you can incorporate those into your everyday meals, but you still have a bountiful amount of those longest lasting foods so that should things go really bad, you have food that can last like 30 years. You'll still have something to eat. First, I bought some of the Hormel Completes. It's a meal already cooked, everything is ready. They come in a little white dish. You can heat them in the microwave, but you don't have to. If you didn't have a way to heat them up, you could just tear them open and eat them. They're going to taste better if you heat them up. But think about it, in an emergency, wouldn't you like something you could just grab it, open it, and eat it? And so these are pretty tasty. They come in a lot of different varieties. Some of them are tastier than others, so I chose the chicken Alfredo and the chicken with mashed potatoes. They're two that I find to be pretty tasty, and I don't mind eating them occasionally, and so it's nice to have several of them on hand. We also know it's important to have a 72-hour kit, a 3-day emergency kit, and think about it. I have 3 of these. I could eat one every day, and I could have a lunch or a dinner already set to go. And because they're portable and you don't have to do much with them, you could put them in your bug-out bag, but they're pretty heavy, and so it may not be the food that you want to put in your bug-out bag. What if you're late for work? You don't have to worry about buying takeout. You could grab one of these and have it to eat later. We know that there are still conflicts in the world, especially over grains, areas that have grains. There have been grain shortages, and so a simple food to have on hand is pasta. It can store for up to 30 years. It's simple to prepare, and it's very versatile. So I stocked up on 4 more boxes of pasta noodles. Then I like to get the long straight noodles because they're easy to break in half and put into a jar, put on the lid, and you can put them away in your pantry, and they're not going to get stale or infested with bugs, and nothing's going to get spilled on them that way. So I have a couple of jars to store that pasta. Next, I bought 4 jars of pasta sauce. I like the taste of the Classico, so that's the sauce that I choose. I like that the Classico pasta sauce comes in a jar, and these are Mason canning jar size. You can put on a clean canning jar lid and a ring, even put this lid back on as a ring, and you can store lots of your dry food in here. I find that it's hard to get the aroma out of the original lid, so unless you're storing something like pasta that isn't going to matter if it's going to taste like spaghetti sauce, it's better, I think, if you use a clean canning jar lid. I picked up 2 packages of scallop potatoes. Dehydrated potatoes that are just potatoes can last for 30 years. The sauce packages, not so much, because they have things like oil in them and perhaps milk. They have other ingredients that don't last forever. Longest lasting ingredients are single dry ingredients. You can store them away for a long time. A good way to figure out what those longest lasting foods are is to look at the Mormon Church, the LDS food that you can buy long term. They've already packaged it in number 10 cans that can last for 30 years. It's the basic single ingredient dry foods that can last the longest. So you can look over what they have, and if you want, order from them. They're high quality. I recommend them. You don't have to be a member of their church. They're just knowledgeable with food storage, and they're readily accommodating to everyone so that you can purchase some of that food so that you can be prepared as well. Realize the price is for a box of 6 cans of that food. You don't have to buy that food pre-packaged. You can figure out what those foods are, buy them at the grocery store, and bring them home and store them away yourself. You can put them into jars or Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, 5-gallon buckets. So you can do those foods still yourself, but there's an option to get them already prepared to just set it and forget it, or rotate them and use them. I'm going to put the scallop potatoes and the spice packages into jars too, because you don't want to set a cardboard box on your pantry shelf. And the potatoes are just inside a cardboard box. They're not wrapped up in anything else. So anything could chew on the box, get spilled on the box, bugs can crawl in the box. So the better you store your food, the longer it's going to last. So you can put the contents in the jar, put on a tight fitting lid, and set it away. But then remember to rotate these, because they're not going to last as long as, say, the pasta noodles. The potatoes will, but the sauce packages won't. Next, I bought 6 cans of Star-Kissed salmon. It's very tasty, and it's great if you have a freezer full of salmon, but it isn't always possible. I love having a freezer full of salmon, cooking fresh salmon, but we can't always have those things. It's not always available. Everybody doesn't have those things. So it's great to have canned salmon. It's also great if you're in a hurry or you just don't feel like cooking, because you can open up a can of salmon, you can add it into a pasta salad, you can add it into some noodles Alfredo, you can just put it together with mayonnaise and serve it as a sandwich. There's lots of things you can do with a can of meat that keeps your life running smoothly for not a lot of money. And canned meat lasts for quite a long time, and even when you look at the date on it, it's usually 4 or 5, even 6 years out, and canned meats tend to last the longest, several years past that. I've almost never had problem with canned meat lasting, except that I did have a can of chicken recently that had a pop top, and when I popped the top open, it had black stuff on the inside. So I don't know if that was something wrong with the chicken, or if it was something wrong with the can, or if it was because it had a pop top. I don't really know, but I wasn't comfortable, so I threw it away. So that's one thing you want to make sure when you're opening a can of food, look the can over even on the inside, because we don't want to find out that there's hidden lurking things and we just dumped it into a pan and started eating it, when the can might have shown us that the food isn't safe to eat. So always look your food over. I picked up 1 jar of Herta's Salsa Verde. It's a sauce flavor that I like, I enjoy, I use it for several recipes, and I realized I didn't have any more in my pantry. I probably should have bought a dozen of them, but you know, budgets can only go so far, so I did pick up 1 on this trip to the grocery store. I can't forget my little dog Teddy. I ordered him some Smart Bones. These are a healthy alternative to rawhide, and they're a nice chewy treat. I had some Smart Bones peanut butter flavored, and he loves them. And then when I saw the Smart Bones made with real chicken, I thought I would give those a try and see if he likes those too. He seems to love them both. I'm not sure if he'd rather I'd purchase more peanut butter or not, but everybody wants this change up in flavors sometimes, don't they? I don't want to eat the same snack for the rest of my life, so I figured maybe he wouldn't want to either. Now when you open these up, you can see that they're pretty good size, and Teddy is a small dog, and because he's a Shih Tzu, he has not a long jaw. To make sure that he could enjoy these to the fullest, I take my kitchen shears and I cut these in half, and he's perfectly content with just the half. I'm not sure exactly how many bones are in here. It weighs nearly 2 pounds, and I do know that Teddy gives it a seal of approval. Here's the chicken. Here's the peanut butter. Let's see if we'll give Teddy a taste test. See which one he chooses first. I have chicken and peanut butter. Which one do you want? Oh, peanut butter. Oh, okay. Teddy's choosing the, wait, he says, wait, let me sniff that one again too. I want both. You want both? You want both? He definitely wants the peanut butter, but he's thinking, I love that chicken too. Is it good? chewy, long-lasting, delicious. I had someone helping me move some things around in my garage, and he said, I need a bungee cord. Where's a bungee cord? And I thought, I don't know. I don't know what happened to all my bungee cords. I couldn't for the life of me figure out where they were. So I went on Amazon and I ordered this big jug. There's 32-pack bungee cord, and they're in this nice container with a handle, and I'm almost afraid to take them out to look them over. I may not ever get them back in here, but I know that I have a wide variety of bungee cords now. Here's a look at what's inside the Cartman 32-pack bungee cord set. And you can see they have nice, sturdy, heavy-duty plastic ends. There's an assortment of sizes, and then there's some of the traditional little ones, but then there's also these loop ones that you can hook through, say, a tarp or around anything that you want to hold it together. Plus they have some tarp clips. So I think by keeping them together, then the next time somebody says, where's a bungee cord? I can grab my pack and I have them. Something else I found out from one of my neighbors, they were telling me they have 3 storage units. It's just everyday household things that they don't have room in their house. So it's furniture and clothes and doodads and knickknacks and stuff like that that they just don't want to part with, but they don't want to use. What happens when you rent a storage unit is you fill it up and you think, well, maybe I'll get this all sorted out in a month or two, so it's worth a couple $100 to store it out of the way for now. Maybe you're moving or remodeling your house, or somebody in your family passed away and you have to figure out where to put the contents of their life so that you have time later to sort it out. But what happens is people leave those things languishing on auto pay, forgotten. It's not things that they really want, or they would have it in their home. It's not things they're using, or they would also not be storing them off-site from their home, never going to use them. And you need to think about that. Several $100s that those storage units are costing is adding up month after month after month, and they've been using the storage units for a few years. Now, what on earth is in there that you couldn't replace with all of that money? And think about how you could unclutter your life and give those things, sell them or donate them. And I always figure I'm very blessed, so I donate things. I pass on the blessings that I have. I also don't want to have too much stuff in my life because it really does weigh you down. It becomes a burden on you when you have too many things. And if you have just stuff that isn't useful, it's cluttering up not only your mind, but your home or your storage space or even your garage. It's just stuff. And then you don't have room for the things that you really love and want, and the things that you really need that you could actually use in the future, like your prepping supplies. So if you have a storage unit, figure out what is in it. What do you really need? What could you part with? What could you do with the money that you're spending on the storage unit rather than just store stuff? You might want to think about it if you have that extra auto pay, that the money is just going out of your account, storing stuff you don't really want. You could declutter those things, get that money going towards things you really want, pay off any of your debts, have a few more prepping supplies, and even use that money for some fun and enjoyment in your life. Let's think about how we can actually repurpose the things that we need into useful items in our lives, because the more ways we know how to use the things we have, the more things we actually have. So maybe we don't actually need so many things, if we can figure out how to make better use of the items that we really do want. Let us know in the comments below, do you have a storage unit? How much is it costing you? Is it really worth it month after month, year after year? Is there something better you could do with that money? Yeah, let's think about that. I hope you'll like my video, share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.